G'day tubers and welcome to part 35. Yep, here we are again. Let's get stuck right into this. We are in Sea Lake at the moment. And in case you couldn't tell, it is hot. Yeah, about 38, 39 today, and I think it's going to be 43 tomorrow, so when we leave for Mildura. So yeah, she's getting warmer, boys and girls, but it's not a grizzle. That is what Australia is in the summer. Don't come here if you don't like the heat. It's going to get hot, and that's all there is to it. It's not global warming. It's none of that sort of crap. It is purely summer in Australia. So thank you once again to my viewers and my subscribers. And yes, we shall get right into this now. Guys, this is the Swan Hill railway station. And yeah, look, it's just a couple of very boring little videos. You guys know me by now, I'm more interested in the little bits and pieces of infrastructure, especially the old building. And, you couldn't really get inside, but you could have a look around it, and there's a couple of old carriages and that sort of thing there. So, yeah, I'll just get right into that old stuff. You never know what you come across and that. Couldn't really do much big looking around because it was Vic Rail property, so... and there was people there, so we just had a quick look around, and that was that. But yeah, always interested in this sort of stuff. Guys, this is the Catalina Flying Boat Museum in about a kilometre out of Lake Boga there. Fantastic place to visit. It's obviously an RAAF museum, basically. And during the Second World War, there was actually a flying boat repair workshop at Lake Boga. Highly secretive at the time. There was massive concerns that, of course, Japan was going to attack Australia, and they wanted these flying boats down and out of the way, which they very successfully did. It didn't last for a long time. It was only a period of a few years. But, yeah, quite a historic place. This museum's all pretty new, actually. Apparently the flying boat that's in here used to be outside sitting in the sun and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's got now a concrete floor and, heating and air conditioning and all that sort of thing. Lots of other things to see around the place. A very interesting map that was electronic, and you could push a button and it would highlight different missions that were flown out of Lake Boga by the Catalinas. But, yeah, it amazes me just how they actually stay in the air. I mean, to get up close to them, and I guess most planes are the same, they're just steel panels and pop rivets. And how the bloody things never fell to bits is beyond me, but, they stayed together, and credit to their engineers and all that sort of thing. Nice little marinised Ford flathead V8 here, guys. Motor out of one of the boats that was used to get out to the plains. Guys, there was also an underground radio bunker at this installation. We'll call it an installation. Very, very scary. It was full of mannequins, and as we all know, at night mannequins come to life. I know it's true because I saw it on the Twilight Zone, and at night in that supermarket, that store, they all came to life and went about their daily lives as though they was real. So I wasn't going to hang around in here, especially at night. Forget it. Welcome to Sea Lake, guys. only a small little town, obviously, but one of the major attractions here are these beautifully painted silos. How they paint, well, I know how they painted them, but how they got up there, I don't know if they set up scaffolding or they used an EWP, but fantastic job. As we all know, I don't have an artistic bone in my body, but these are great. And the paintings, I believe, are representative of the local grain industry, or all the grain farming and that goes on. So hence the style of the paintings. But beautifully done. And they look absolutely fantastic from the air. Up close, you don't appreciate it, but you get back a little bit, and it looks fantastic.
Well, here we are, tubers, Lake Tyrrell, or I think it's called the Pink Lake sometimes, I could be wrong. Salt Lake, obviously. Come walking out and it starts to get a bit slippery underfoot, as you can probably see. We're not going to drive out here. Number one, it's illegal. Number two, we'll get bogged and we'll never see little Zooks again. But yeah, we're going to drive around a bit more and have a bit more of a look. There's the salt works down the road. We might see if we can get a look at that. If not, we'll just keep travelling around it. But yeah, bloody starting to warm up. It's supposed to be about 42 today. And but yeah, this is a salt lake. To Lake Tyrrell, or one of the roads. Trouble is, I don't think this is the right road. I think there's another way in, as I just saw, but I've got a funny feeling this is one of the tracks maybe where they hold the off-road titles. I could be wrong, but they reckon they do it around the lake. I don't know if it's in this area or a bit further up or what, but yeah, we've just found ourselves on this little dirt road anyway, so yeah, all good fun. It's a dry weather only road, so I could see if it started flogging down rain where it might get a bit hard to pass. But we're in Little Zookie, so we'll be alright. I mean, you know, she is fully equipped for this sort of thing. Not. Tell you what, tubers, I reckon this is a bloody great mound of salt. Have a look at this. You try and scratch it, and she's rock hard, and I reckon that's all salt, because there There is the salt works around here, like I was saying. Tubers, this is the Cheetham Salt Works at Lake Tyrrell. There's another one in the Bellarine Peninsula in Geelong. And if you look right out over there, you can see all the salt and a lot of heavy equipment moving it around. So yeah, it would have been nice to be able to have a look, but no, it is a restricted area, so bad luck.
Well, tubers, as you head into Mildura on the Calder Highway, you come through a place called Red Cliffs. That's probably, I don't know, 20k out or whatever. But you come across what they call Big Lizzie, and have a look at this thing. It's, I can't remember what year they said it was made, but the design is extremely unusual. Have a look at the way the wheels work. It's sort of like a wheel with a track, if you like. But the interesting part, it was made by McDonald Brothers in Richmond. And McDonald Brothers, I remember as a kid, you used to see lots of old steamrollers and that, and they always had the name McDonald on. So yeah, so this tractor, whatever you want to call it, was driven all the way from Richmond to Broken Hill at 1 mile per hour. That's like basically walking speed. Not even that, I suppose, but yeah, they said, it's plagued with mechanical problems. If you have a look at the front of it, it's got an anvil hanging off the front of it, and spare parts bolted here and there, and I mean, it's quite a piece of work, but yeah, I tell you what, it's, it's really, it's just an amazing design, but to drive it from Melbourne at 1 mile an hour, forget it, guys. And of course, for those that are interested, Red Cliffs was first settled by Europeans in 1918. Mainly soldiers, apparently, and they began establishing vineyards, and that, of course, is the town's chief industry. So there you go, quite interesting. Well, tubers, Mildura, what can we say? It's a pretty big place. Basically it's a regional city as opposed to like a little town. Funnily enough, I always thought it was really known for its oranges, but mainly its grape production. And that is its main claim to fame by the looks of it, obviously being on the Murray River. It's a real touristy spot as well, which is fine. But first sort of came to being around in the 1800s, 1850s, thereabouts. Obviously Aboriginal people were in the area before that, but the Chaffee brothers, I believe, really sort of opened this area up. But lovely place, absolutely lovely, very sunny all year round. I think they call it one of the sunniest places in Australia. Well, I certainly know it was yesterday. It was about 43 yesterday, and it was stinking hot. So but it is a nice place. I had been here before, but it was some time ago. The also has some notable people, quite a few AFL footballers. Dale Waitman, for one, you might remember from Richmond. I think they used to call him Flea. Chris Tarrant from Collingwood, believe it or not, and I'm a Collingwood man, so you probably won't like me anymore, but guess what? I've got all my teeth. Jason Ackermanis, so on and so on and so on, the list goes on. But yeah, guys, that's basically Mildura for you. Another thing I like about it too is lots of palm trees. Yeah, I love palm trees. Date palms, Chinese fans, all that sort of thing, so on, and there's plenty of them. But talking about the sunniest place or one of the sunniest places in Australia, if you go to the local Woolworths, they've actually got shade sails all set up all over the car park area for just that reason, so it must get sunny. Tubers, this is, on the Murray, of course, Lock 11. Why they build these, I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, it's to control levels, but yeah, I mean, this is sort of an inlet, yet the river flows around the other side of it, but they lock this bit. I'm not sure, I don't understand how it all works, and I'm sure someone can enlighten me, but yeah, you know, as I say, it's all part of history, and it's all worth having a look at. Actually, we weren't going to do much. Well, I thought we weren't doing any more work with little Sparky. You'll see an overhead shot coming up, and as I was coming down, the sun got in my eye, and little Sparky just touched a branch of a gum tree about 20 metres up, and promptly fell to the ground. And I thought, that's the end of that. Guess what? It still works. Talk about a durable little thing that is, but yeah, so anyway, but yeah, no, look, we haven't had a massive look around Mildura. Main reason being, yesterday was stinking hot, and today it was that humid. It was like Darwin today. So we haven't had a look at a lot of stuff, but yeah, these were just some of the things. So yeah, Mildura, lovely town, well worth a look. And now it's time for Successful Australian Introductions, proudly brought to you by the First Fleet. That's right, when they first came over in the 18th century, yes, the 1700s, what did they bring with them for a source of food? Yes, that's right, that's what they thought, you know, bring over a bit of food. And, you know, we'll let them go, and there's plenty of food there, bit of sport, all that sort of thing, but of course they didn't realise that the rabbits were going to go absolutely crazy and destroy the basic ecology of Australia ever since. They are directly responsible for loss of various species. They eat bloody absolutely everything, therefore resulting in lack of vegetation, which returns to erosion. which of course, erosion washes away the soil, so it can increase salinity. And I don't mean stupidity, I mean the salt rising up into the soil, to the surface, so on and so on and so on. I mean, there's been so much written and so much said. These are basically a pain in the backside, and once again, thank you so much to the people who brought them to us. I have heard people describe them as cute. I believe they are cute like a stomach pump, and I believe there is only really one good course of action for them, and that is coming up in the next shot. And for those who don't like that, well, that's perfectly fine. I have the Aboriginal elders smiling down on me saying thank you, Mick, for getting rid of this blight on our land, so that even the little native animals can get something to eat. So yes, thank you very much once again to the people that introduced the wonderful rabbit. Can you think of any more successful Australian introductions? I bet you can. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is part 35. Thank you once again to my subscribers and viewers and anyone else who contributes in any way. Tomorrow we are leaving Mildura and heading for Broken Hill. It's about a 3-hour drive north into the heart of New South Wales, so it should be interesting. I don't know what sort of highlights we're going to see on the way. It doesn't look like there's a lot there, but sort of not desert, but just the bush. So I'm looking forward to it. And we'll stay there for a few days, and then we're going to cruise into the farming areas. So I am going to get in touch with the organiser from that area, and we'll get our first farm, and that's where it'll start. And we'll hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit of interesting video while we're at some of these places. But anyway, thanks people, and we shall see you in part 36. Bye.